Hello, in this video I'm gonna tell you whether you should upgrade to Apple Watch Ultra 3. And that is a pretty complex question because there's so many Apple Watches out there and depends on what Apple Watch you previously had. And I would highly discourage you to upgrade if you have the Apple Watch Ultra 2. There are some differences, of course. It's not like it's just a re-release because there's satellite connection and 5G and better battery efficiency and higher charging speeds and like more efficient display and stuff like that. But honestly, if you already have an Apple Watch Ultra 2 and you probably know the prices of Apple Watch Ultra 3, which is like $800 in United States, it's quite a lot, and I don't really see the point. But maybe if you are going to trade in the previous Apple Watch, then it's gonna go great. But I don't really see the point here. I would encourage you to upgrade if you're upgrading from a lower end Apple Watch like the series, maybe Series 7, Series 8, or older, of course. Or if you're upgrading from the SE series, SE1 or SE2, but it also depends because Apple Watch Ultra 3 is really great and it's a really professional device, but it's worth deciding whether it's important to you, all the features, whether they are important to you, because the Apple Watch Ultra 3 is a really professional and complex device. So I think that most features that most people use are gonna be in the Series 11, or for some it's just gonna be SE3. But if you're doing some extreme sports or if you're an adventurous person and you need a very big battery life, like 42 hours of battery life, and I know if you have like a Garmin watch, that may seem crazy, 42 hours, because Garmin's have 2 weeks of battery life, but it's a completely different case. Apple Watch works some sort of differently. So if you have if you need an Apple Watch, then you should decide whether you actually need the Ultra 3, because for most people, I think for 80% of people, the Ultra 3 is just not needed. If you do sports, of course, all Apple Watches will give you the sports statistics that you need. And for example, the Series 11, right? Of course, it's smaller and aluminium. There is a titanium version, but honestly, if you need a titanium Apple Watch for better durability, then yes, Ultra 3 all the way, because the titanium case itself on the Series 11 is so pricey that it's almost the price of Ultra 3. So I would not recommend getting the titanium Series 11 if you're thinking about that, because unless you want a really thin watch, but I don't really I'm not really a person that really cares about the thickness of the watch, it's still good enough, I think. Right, it's a bit thicker than the Series 11, but now, yeah, what's important here is that both the Series 11 and Ultra 3 measure your ECG, blood oxygen, irregular rhythm notification, high and low heart rate notifications, hypertension notifications, low cardio fitness notifications, track your sleep, your vitals, respiratory rate, wrist temperature, sleep duration, temperature sensing, cycle tracking, and stuff like that. What the differences between Series 11 and Ultra 3 are is the satellite connection. So if you don't have any cellular connection, then you can still do emergency emergency SOS via satellite. It also has a siren in the Ultra 3. It's way more water resistant at the Ultra 3 down to 100 meters compared to Series 11 down to 50 meters. Has more water sports options because Series 11 has swim and snorkeling, and Ultra 3 has swim, snorkeling, scuba, and high-speed water sports. Also depth gauge, which is depth metering. On Series 11 is 6 meters. On Ultra 3 it's 40 meters. So if you're diving, also it's going to be great for you to have the Ultra 3. But also like all the water resistance. On Ultra 3, on Ultra 2, it's the same. By the way, there is a video on our channel on comparison between Ultra 2 and Ultra 3. So if you're thinking about those two, I would highly recommend watching that video because you'll actually understand what's the difference between them. But now, Series 11 and Ultra 3, also the GPS is better on Ultra 3. The battery, as I said, is way better. And that would be about it. So if you aren't really like the extreme sports person, then I would get the Series 11. But it's also worth mentioning that the GPS version, because on Series 11 you can get GPS without cellular, and it's $400, then $500 for GPS plus cellular, and $750 for big size titanium frame with cellular, because there's two sizes of Series 11, 46 and 42 millimeters, and aluminum or titanium case. And on Ultra 3 it's always 49 millimeters, which is quite big, and I wouldn't get that watch myself because I have small hands and it really looks weird on me. I'm currently wearing the like 40 millimeters SE Apple Watch, and it's just fine for me. It's just enough. 49 millimeters is a bit too much for me. But if you need a bigger watch, then I would also recommend the Ultra 3 and the titanium case. If you have an Ultra 1 and are thinking about upgrading to Ultra 3, there are gonna be a bit more differences because Ultra 3 has like a brighter display, has hypertension notifications, sleep apnea notifications, satellite, of course, 5G, and everything, and like gestures, like double tap gesture, wrist flick gesture, on-device Siri, precision finding for iPhone, and stuff like that. So if you want those features, then you can upgrade, but I also wouldn't really myself upgrade from Ultra 1 to Ultra 3 if I already had the Ultra 1. But if I were to buy it now as my first Ultra Apple Watch, if I needed the Ultra Apple Watch, if I needed all the features, then I think I would get the Ultra 3 because unless I were about to buy the used version, because used is of course way cheaper, and if I were to buy the used one, I would get maybe Ultra 1 or Ultra 2, but for the new one, I think just the Ultra 3 because it's really great, and I think that the price differences for new watches aren't that major. So it's also worth noting that. And I hope that my explanation was good enough. If you have any more questions, feel free to comment them down below and I'll answer them. So I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.